Hey guys, Mark at Tough Touring. I'm going to show you a dual cab rack setup here. We get a lot of questions about how to mount a rooftop tent to a dual cab, and there's a lot of answers to that question. There's a lot of ways you can do it. I will start by saying that the vehicle balance on a dual cab is reliant on the roof tent not being mounted behind your rear wheels too far. What that does, of course, is provide a lot less stability than if you mounted your roof tent further forward, with the goal being to mount a rooftop tent right between your wheels. Halfway between the front wheels and the back wheels is the ideal position if you can do it. Now, there's a lot of misinformation on this. A lot of people tell you can't mount a rooftop tent over an articulating dual cab, which is absolutely correct. However, you can beat that with some tricks. So I'm here to discuss some of those tricks and show you how we do it. Okay, so I've pre-assembled a 79 series rooftop tent rack. This is one of ours. It's a Tough Touring rack. It's a gutter clamp setup, so for you guys with D-Maxes, Hiluxes and so on, it's a similar setup, but you get a foot instead. You get feet like this. Our feet, mind you, for roof tents are very big. There's a lot of metal in them. And that's because the killer of roof racks for rooftop tents is the metal fatigue that happens when you're dodging potholes on corrugated roads. Anywhere you get metal flex, you can have things snap and shear. So we just add a lot more metal, roughly 110 millimeters of straight 3mm steel on each foot, which is about 3-4 times more than anyone else. Now the gutter clamps also, they're double bolts on ours. So 2 bolts, they're M8 rated, high tensile, and the clamp is welded so nothing can bend. Enough about the racks though. There's plenty of info on our racks and how cool they are on the web already. What we're here to show you is how a dual cab rack works. Now, on a 79 series, a Hilux, Mazda, BT50, they all suffer similar issues with mounting roof tents over the cabin. The first being that the cabins are short. So typical footprint on most roof racks on cabins, dual cab roof racks, is about 120 millimeters long.
Yeah, that's 120 centimeters, sorry.
Very short, so you can't really just mount a tent to that. We've gone and made them as big as we can, as long as we can anyway. The 79 series is our shortest at just 1400 millimeters. Many of our others, which have got the feet, believe it or not, with 3 of these, it's actually a stronger setup than on the 79 with the 3 clamps. The ones with the feet, we've run out to 1650 millimeters long, meaning that you can, in many cases, mount a rooftop tent straight to this rack with no other mounting points. You might run 3 crossbars. Roof tents will stipulate what their maximum overhang are, and many of them are around 500 millimeters at the front. Some are 200 millimeters at the back. Other straight lifts are 500 millimeters each end. But if you do a little bit of maths and calculation, you quickly realize that a third bar somewhere else on the other side on the cabin would be great. So what we've done there is we've built a third bar, which I've just plonked onto this piece of wood here, but it's a little different to everything else you'll see. It actually runs an engine mount in the middle, which takes up the flex. It's minute, it can rock and roll that way, but it can flex left and right slightly. Now, what this does is it gives you, if you look at the whole setup, I've now got my 2.3 meters to 2.3 meters of span to properly mount a big roof tent on a vehicle. Now, we played around with this theory a lot before we've released it, and I'll show you some of those vehicles now. The first one was a Chevy Silverado with a 3.6 meter roof tent on it, flexing off the hoop bar. The second was a BT50 with a Tough Trek tent, flexing between the cab and the flexing
tub.
Mounts at the end on the hoop bar, and that vehicle drove to Queensland and back and off-road and all around the place for 6 months without a squeak or rattle. So we're really pleased with that, and that was probably our first one that we did. We did all the experimenting on that one and then started to do it in other vehicles. And since then we've done it a lot, dual cabs, quite a lot. And what it allows you to do is to get that roof tent right in the middle of the wheels, which is what we all want. When you get the tent in the middle, you've got some room at the back too for Max Trax holders and things like that, which can be great. But the big gain really is the vehicle handling. Now, there's other negatives to dual cabs relating to awnings and how you mount an awning to them. It's always best practice to run your awning or mount your awning to your roof tent on a dual cab. I'm going to do a separate video on this because it's another big one, and there's a lot of misinformation out there on that one. But for now, this is a dual cab, tough touring dual cab articulating rooftop tent rack. How about we call it that? Dual cab articulating rooftop tent rack. Unique, probably a world first, and it's come from Tough Touring in Melbourne. I hope you liked the video, and I hope this helps you guys out. By the way, if you've got a roof rack at the front already and you just want the articulating bar at the back, I'm going to list them as a separate item. They can go under tub canopies, plastic canopies. You can mess around with these too. The clamps, the way we've designed them, you can put the clamps on upside down, backwards, all around to get different angles and, you know, different heights. If you're going for larger heights, on the base model first crack, 120 millimeters is the standing height at its low point, and you can adjust that to go. You can even put the bar plank on upside down and gain another 20 to get you 140. You can go to the second bolt up, which gives you another 15, gives you up 155, and you can do all variations of that. It's also possible to use the engine mount directly to the top hat bar plank and then flip it and mount that through a lot of the plastic glass canopy holes, in which case you've got a bar plank ready to go at about 25 millimeters off the top. You would be packing that out to give you some separation and some movement there, but there's a million ways you can do this. Really, the creativity to get that height is your own, but space of block upside down gives you 55 millimeters. It's endless. Incidentally, the over cabin racks also can be mounted without crossbar planks in some cases. I'm not on a dual cab now, but this tent allows that because of its east-west crossbars, and many out there in the market. Signing off from the workshop for now, but I hope that's planted a seed in your creative little heads. Good on you guys, and stay cool and keep building four dryers. Hope you like the video.